who will face Brock Lesnar for that title. A 16-man tournament over the next 7 weeks to determine the number 1 contender. Crossroads! And he is into the quarterfinals. The main event of this evening, Dean Ambrose to go one-on-one against Baron Corbin. It's AJ Styles! Phenomenal forearm! AJ Styles has screwed Ambrose out of this tournament! AJ Styles assaulting Ambrose! What for? Hello and welcome Universe Mode. This is Smackdown Live. There was a plenty bunch to talk about with regarding last week's show. The tournament commencing right away, everything getting underway, and then of course what we saw to close out the evening between Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles. Sadly, AJ Styles is not in action here tonight, but there are still 2 very entertaining tournament matches on their way for you. And what the hell am I looking at here? Going backstage, apparently Shawn Michaels and the Smackdown General Manager Christian James having a conversation with one another. And a shake of the hands. Could that have been over, I wonder? I mean, there's been plenty of talk stirred up from the Paul Heyman camp about the career of Michaels, but we'll be left speculating about that one, I imagine. We couldn't hear any of it, sadly, but nevertheless, a stacked SmackDown Live card on its way for you here tonight. A rematch from Fully Loaded on its way as well, as Becky Lynch will challenge SmackDown Live Women's Champion Nikki Cross for that title later on this evening on SmackDown Live. That's going to be something that you absolutely don't want to miss. And of course, we have 2 tournament matches on their way for you. The ones you see in red are the tournament matches we have on our way for you here tonight. Bobby Fish against Jeff Hardy will start the show. And then for our main event of the evening, Samoa Joe one-on-one against the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. Going to be an incredible main event on its way for you. Who will join Baron Corbin and Cody Rhodes in the quarterfinals? We will find out in just a moment, because coming out first is going to be a man who thinks this tournament is a waste of time. Said it last week. He said he's the only one on the roster who even deserves a shot at that belt. And that is, of course, Bobby Fish, the man who will take all the pride that he can for the actions that have happened to Shawn Michaels. The man who will take solace in the fact that Michaels is no longer around in this universe should what we think is happening regarding Michaels come to pass. We'll see if that'll be the case or not, though, of course. At some point, I would assume. What I do know is that point, though, is not right now. So, nevertheless, we do still have a match here on SmackDown Live to talk about. Bobby Fish against Jeff Hardy one-on-one. Last week, we saw, like I said, Cody Rhodes going through. We saw that pretty easily. Baron Corbin going through the interference of AJ Styles. Referee was knocked out. I don't imagine any shenanigans like that transpiring in this match. Bobby Fish, of course, rightfully believes in his eyes that he is the only one deserving of that WWE Championship opportunity. Jeff Hardy, on the other hand, is going to be fighting tooth and nail to get another opportunity at Brock Lesnar. Of course, will culminate in the winner getting the shot for the title at the Royal Rumble. And certainly going to be something that is engulfing SmackDown Live heading into that event. Of course, there was the matches start to whittle down a little bit week by week. We will get some focus towards the Royal Rumble event itself as well, which should be very, very entertaining. One of my favorite times of the year, and it comes at the start of the year as well. The Royal Rumble, the road to WrestleMania, starts in about 5 weeks. Can't wait for it. Just as I imagine this guy can't wait for an opportunity to shut up Bobby Fish. Do it for all of us, really, and move on in this tournament into the quarterfinals. Jeff Hardy ready to go here. Became the number 1 contender in a triple threat match involving Bobby Fish back before No Way Out, which he was handedly beaten in by, of course, Brock Lesnar. Now Hardy looking to earn the route back there and earn his way back to that title opportunity. And it all starts here tonight for him if he can get past Bobby Fish. I think with the mantra that Fish has got to him, the ego that he's got to him right now, believing he's the only one worthy of getting a shot at that title, there might be a side to Bobby Fish that thinks that he needs to fight through this tournament maybe to get that far. We'll see if that'll be the case or not right about now, but here we go. Another round of 16 match on its way for you. Bobby Fish against Jeff Hardy, one-on-one. Here we go. And Fish instantly going down the route to kicking Jeff Hardy. Kicking away at the thighs, the legs, the gut, whatever he can kick away at, he shall. Bobby Fish looking to do damage here early on to Jeff Hardy. Hardy going to try and fight back here a little bit though. Pulls him away from the ropes. Great back suplex there to Fish. As things get underway here, there's the question to be asked of how either guy can win this one. How can Hardy beat Fish? And in reciprocation, how can Fish beat Hardy? Slam there for Jeff Hardy to endure. Bobby Fish is taking the early lead in this one. Suplex there, and Jeff Hardy goes down. Just watching this match now, just looking to see what the Snake Paul Heyman is thinking on the outside as well. Thinking about that, what we just saw backstage as well with Shawn Michaels and Christian James. Already a few things to talk about heading in this edition of Smackdown Live. Great counter to the DDT though, but by Bobby Fish, the second longest reigning champion in the history of this universe. 390 days in his first reign as WWE Champion. He's held the belt twice more since then. Last time he held the belt was at WrestleMania. That was the last night he held that WWE Championship before losing it to the man in action at the end of this evening, Kazuchika Okada. Those two guys could be on for a meeting course in the semi-finals if they're able to win all their matches. That would be great. Another meeting between these two guys, and definitely I would hope that the Rainmaker would be the one to shut up Bobby Fish permanently. But of course, in order to do that, he'd also have to go through Shinsuke Nakamura. And of course, to even get to that, he has to go through Samoa Joe here tonight. Tough path for Okada, no doubt about it. We'll see how that one will go for him. Bobby Fish could get a rival in Matt Riddle. Should Riddle win his match with Chris Sabin, which I would imagine is going to be next week. Also, next week is going to be AJ Styles in action against Kevin Owens, which should be a very interesting thing to think about and to discuss. Cover there by Bobby Fish after that running knee into the gut. Kick out at one by Hardy. Fish looking to try and put things away here. Can he do it? Looking for fish hook maybe. Has the arm hook but couldn't get him on his shoulders. Great counter by Jeff Hardy. I was going to say about the AJ Styles match though coming up next week is that I really hope in that moment in time we learn why AJ Styles did what he did, why he turned on Dean Ambrose, and maybe we'll finally get an answer as to where AJ Styles' allegiance lies. Is it with the originals? Is it with himself? Where is AJ Styles at in terms of being on SmackDown Live? We don't know that answer right now, and I truthfully hope that come the end of next week, we do find it out. Big splash there by Hardy. Cover made. Only a 1 count. Jeff Hardy does have control in this matchup, no, right now, has to be said. Having the number of Bobby Fish and going up high here. Is he thinking Swanton Bomb? Is he thinking a way to dump Fish out of this tournament? Great work there by Fish. Getting right up to his feet. But oh, a chop of some sort from Hardy from the top rope. Sends Fish back down. Hardy going to go back up again. Going to risk it once more here. Will it pan out the way that he wants it to? Hardy. Does he have it in him? Fish stopping him again. Again pulling himself up to his feet in time and does not evade the chop a second time either. This is Hardy's opening right now. He's feeling the fatigue, I think, of this match. He's feeling the kicks, the knees, whatever else that Bobby Fish has hit within this match, but he is fighting back in it. In the turnbuckle now goes Bobby Fish. Hardy getting a nasty boot right in the face, though. Still countering Fish. Never say die. Attitude of Jeff Hardy really shining through right now as he looks to do his best to progress in this tournament. Oh, but Heyman getting involved there. Fish from behind now, clubbing away on Jeff Hardy. Paul Heyman gave Bobby Fish a tiny opening, a fraction of an opening, and Fish just jumped on it. Now look, forearm in the face. Look at all these strikes. Hardy trying to fight back from it, though. Good stuff there. Counters the chop. Forearm into the chest. Another one for good measure. Look at how Fish is just unloading with these strikes right now. Exploder suplex in the turnbuckle to go with it. Hardy in deep trouble. There's the knee in the gut. Once more, the knee in the gut strikes and Hardy could be finished. Bobby Fish thinks that is enough. He goes in for the cover. There's 1, 2, and a kick out from Hardy at 2. Hardy's still in this one, but for how much longer? Oh, the answer might be not that much at all. Bobby Fish in position, up on the shoulders. Fish hook. The fish hook connects. And that is Jeff Hardy's tournament. Done. Cover by Fish. 1, 2, and I was right. Bobby Fish moves in to the quarterfinals. And he continues on his progress towards what he believes is a surefire 4th WWE title. Will that be the case or not? What I know is that things haven't ended here because Heyman's just got himself in the ring with a microphone in his hand as well. Business isn't done for the duo in the Heyman camp. And I wonder just what this protocol is going to be. This is the 3rd week in a row we've heard from Heyman now. And honestly, I think I'm sick of it. And it's the same drum being banged here. The idea that they're being disrespected by being put in this tournament. He's the only one who deserves a shot at Brock Lesnar. Blah, 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 blah. It's the same thing that's been harped on for these last 3, from last week to the week before that to tonight. And truth be told, I don't really care. 15 other men were, well, at the start, 15 other men were in this tournament. Come on. Heyman continued to talk, though, saying that this is about Shawn Michaels now, saying that Heyman's here to talk about Shawn Michaels and how his client is the one that is ending the career of it after what he did following Fully Loaded. It's a bit of a sensitive topic to discuss. We don't even know where his career is at right now. And Heyman now discussing what we saw at the top of the show, talking to the GM backstage. And he saw a man who is too broken to continue on. A man who crossed his client and stole his chance. So to make things right, Bobby Fish stole his career. That's not making things right. That's a jealous vendetta. According to Heyman, sources are telling him that an announcement will be made on Smackdown Live next week for Shawn Michaels, and he will announce how his client ended his career. Heyman and Fish will be there with a front row seat for a proper goodbye. This ain't, no, that's not right. That's sickening. That is vile. They're taking pride in ending this man's career. For what? What did he do to deserve this from you? It's vile. It's horrid, is what it is. It's every disgusting verb that you can think of, adjective even, wow, and more. This is not what SmackDown Live should be about. This is for the most part was not even what Bobby Fish was about for the longest time. He has become obsessed with the thought of being WWE Champion again. There is nothing that I think will stop Bobby Fish until he can rest at night with that WWE Championship back by his side. He is obsessed with it. It's an unhealthy obsession that he has going forward as well, that has to be said. But he is through to the next round. He is going into the quarterfinals, so we'll see more about that when it rolls around. But as for now, we move on here to a tag team contest between the Young Bucks and the War Machine. A very interesting tag team match on its way as well between these two highly rated teams on SmackDown Live. Both have held the SmackDown tag team titles before. As a matter of fact, both have held them in this very calendar year. It was Young Bucks, then it was War Machine, and then it's the champions as it has been since the start of May in the Guerrillas of Destiny. However, War Machine have been looking to fight their way back towards those titles. We saw them in action last week, and I believe a little bit before that as well, really just going to show their dominance and where they are at. Seems if they finally found their footing after a few months of being displaced around here. Whereas the Young Bucks, of course, just coming off of that, easy defeat, shall we say, for them at Fully Loaded, where they were comfortably and handedly beaten down by the Guerrillas of Destiny and didn't show a sign of getting anywhere in that match. Maybe it's the turn of War Machine to have another crack at those belts. I don't even remember if they had their rematch for them. What I do know is that they are ready for this action. They are ready for this match here against the Young Bucks. The call of the war chant to the Smackdown Live crowd. We'll reciprocate it with them. War Machine is ready, and I'm ready for this one as well. Give us an idea of where the Young Bucks are at. Are they on a strong level right now? Are they at their best? Are they still on the downslide following Fully Loaded? You can see right about now it's going to be Raymond Rowe starting things off against Matt Jackson. Gut wrench powerbomb right from the get-go. Might give you an indication of where they are. Good counter by Matt Jackson. Spear. Head first into that spear. Connected with it well as on top of that. Matt Jackson's, actually kind of surprisingly, taking care of business a little bit at the start of the match here. Counter there though by Raymond Rowe. Hard chop in the chest to go with it. Matt Jackson could counter it as well. Gets a quick jab in. In the corner. No tag being made, but a hefty lariat being struck. I think the winner of this match may well be getting themselves into the calling for that tag team division. Even the Young Bucks having just come off of that tag team title loss. With that, as I talked about it last week, with the tag team tournament really taking up a lot of places right now for tag teams. And the Royal Rumble on its way as well. You'll find there's not going to be many guys with an opportunity in the tag team division. There's not going to be many teams, so we may be restricted to one, or if we're lucky, maybe two, getting a hand on that belt. Well, a shot at that belt, rather, should I say. Hansen, anyway, tagged in here. Back suplex again here tonight. Matt Jackson feeling the huge impact of that one. And the turnbuckle we go now, Matt Jackson. Oh my goodness. No way. He is going to go for it, and he's going to hit it as well. What a buckle bomb to Hansen. Picking the big man right back up there as well. And, well, that lariat didn't take him off his feet, and he looked a little bit flustered by it on top of that. Drop kick, and Hansen doesn't go down again, staying upright. And Matt Jackson may be questioning how much he's going to have to put into this in order to get Hansen off his feet. Maybe a tag into his brother might do the trick. Here we go. Nick Jackson in off the tag, and they work on the arm of Hansen. Maybe trying to think about taking that away from him, take away his strength, but I think the Hansen you have to remember as well is his speed. The speed of Hansen is something that you really struggle to take away from him, because he has an almost unusual speed going for him for a guy of his size. What he can do is just... that's astounding. Great tiger bomb there. And now he has Nick Jackson right where he wants him. A waist controlled body slam there. Kind of like a waist uranagi as the tag is made into Rowe now. Hansen and Rowe taking care of business. Great strength there. Nick Jackson getting an almighty slam down on the mat, and a discus forearm that will take him right off his feet after it as well. You could see Nick Jackson's legs giving out underneath him, and it's not getting any better either. War Machine have controlled this match, and I don't know if that's down to the Bucks not being still at their peak following Fully Loaded, or if it's just the fact that War Machine are just on a different level right now. What a arm drag there by Nick Jackson though. Able to shine through and show his agility as he tries to fight back here. Good forearm in the face. Irish whip now to Rowe. The brawler of the two. The powerhouse of the two in his own ways as well. Take a look at that. Easily controlling him and slamming him down. Matt Jackson calling for the tag, and he'll get it. Matt back in this one now. Just struck at Raymond Rowe. And Rowe, I got to cut the Raymond part out. I've been told that he doesn't go by that anymore. It's just Rowe now. Hard strikes. Good counter from Matt Jackson on Rowe. Has the arm. Maybe should have covered up the other one. You could hear that. Oh my god, these forearms are ruthless. Saito suplex there on top of it. And down goes Raymond Rowe with an almighty thud. Wait a minute. Death Row! Death Row struck on Matt Jackson from out of the blue. And War Machine have won it. Wow. That was quick. That was quick, and that was dominant once again by War Machine. And now the question has to be asked, are these guys next in line for those titles? Who else is left for a crack at those belts, really? You think about it, there's not that many teams left who can give a fight right now like War Machine can. And if the Young Bucks were toppled like that, could the same be on its way to be said for the Gorillas of Destiny if War Machine get their hands on them? Wow, that was a destructive win by them, no doubt about it. Pulled that one off with ease. It goes to show you, War Machine right now are on a different level. Nevertheless, we move on here on Smackdown Live. More action to look at. More action to continue on with. And Sheamus going to be in action once again following last week's returning victory over Kofi Kingston. We left questions over where he was in terms of his allegiance. Was it with the Dangerous Alliance, or did he just use that match as an opportunity to slip himself back into the scene on SmackDown Live? There was, once again, like with AJ Styles, plenty of questions, no answers to them right now. Nevertheless, we are ready to go here with this contest. Sheamus going to be competing against a local talent, and I imagine this will go much the way the Celtic Warrior wants it to, just going to get to showcase his demolition, his destruction, what he can do easily within a ring to any given opponent at any given time. Sheamus might be frustrated that he's not in the 16-man tournament for the WWE Championship, but the reality is that until fully loaded, he hadn't really done anything to deserve any kind of shot, even a shot at a match on SmackDown Live. Now, however, as we saw last week with him against Kofi, there is a new, brutal, vicious side to Sheamus that really shines through every time you see him in action. I think we're going to be seeing it right up now. Big old, forgot his name, big old fiery pants big boy is in action here, picking up his $50 for the evening. And, doing pretty much what is expected of him. Getting beaten up. So here we go. Between these guys. Oh, huge belly to belly there by Sheamus on the get-go. You can just see the growth in power that Sheamus has got going for him. Is this going to be the Celtic Cross already? High Cross, whatever he calls it. Yes, it is! Jesus. Already connecting with that one. Things are not looking good for this. For Mr. Fire Pants Chum. He is in huge trouble. Sheamus just showcasing all of his power and his destruction. Just all of it being shown in the largest form it can. Look at this now, a trio of Irish Curse backbreakers. And I hope that $50 can cover his hospital bill in all fairness, because as it currently stands, he is going to need it. Uh-oh. Well, mercy for him at least. The end is on its way. Bro kick! And the bro kick connects. The match is over. And the questions still left to be asked. The new aggressive side to Sheamus shone through in its finest form there. And I wonder, because I heard some hubbub last week that Sheamus had a certain viewer watching him backstage in Paul Heyman. And I wonder if this is going to be him giving Paul Heyman another show. Sorry, mate, the $50 doesn't cover this. This is after the match now. You're not getting paid for this beatdown. Sheamus continuing on with his beatdown here, with no remorse being shown in the process. The Irish Curse backbreakers will strike again, and Paul Heyman is probably loving every side of this one. Heyman wanted a show, and he just got one. Sheamus is without a doubt showing his aggression once more. This new side to him is lethal, but will it be enough to get Sheamus back to where he wants him to be? And will it be enough for Paul Heyman to take a risk on him? We could find out in due time, but nevertheless, it is time to continue on here. And now the big matches begin on Smackdown Live. 2 huge matches, 2 main event caliber matches up next year. First, the SmackDown Women's title up for grabs. Becky Lynch can have a rematch against Nikki Cross right now with that title on the line. Man alive, I can't wait for it. Cross took the title away from Lynch, of course, at Fully Loaded, much to the chagrin of Becky Lynch. And now here tonight, she looks to get it back around her waist for the 4th time in this universe. Can that happen? We will find out. What surprised me is that this match just kind of came out of the blue. Just no real setup to it. No real build to it. Just like that. Click of the finger. Last week we were watching Ruby Riott beat Ember Moon. Now here tonight we got a title match on its way. But I'm certainly not opposed to it. I have to say that. Nikki Cross heading towards the ring anyway in his 2nd reign as the SmackDown Live Women's Champion. And it has to be said, with these 2 women meeting once again, how much more anger and hatred do they have within them? How many more times can they hate one another after everything that we've seen leading into this contest? We saw it when we went into Fully Loaded. The 2 women despised each other. They beat each other up a lot. Cross won. Are we in for more of the same here tonight? But is there going to be more aggression on one side than the other? You could argue at Fully Loaded there was more aggression shown from Nikki Cross, and that's how she ended up walking out with the SmackDown Women's Championship. Is there now more aggression from Becky Lynch due to what happened at Fully Loaded? Is there more hatred within Lynch for having lost that title to Nikki Cross when she thought she was going to be the one to retain that title and head into the new year as the SmackDown Women's Champion? That could still be on, of course. The idea of holding the title heading into the new year, she just needs to, well, beat Nikki Cross here tonight. Cross, who has been very much on her game since being, quote-unquote, stabbed in the back by Becky Lynch, by the Originals, as many weeks ago as it did happen. But now, with nothing to stop these 2 women, except one another essentially, they will do battle again for that women's title. About 2 weeks after the events of Fully Loaded, they do battle once more. I think regardless of where allegiances lie or where whichever side you think should walk out with this title, we're in for a great match. And that's all that matters to me. A great, entertaining contest between 2 women who utterly despise one another. That's the part that I really like about this all. We are ready to go here between these 2. Lynch, as you can see, fired up and ready to go for this title bout. As am I, and I think as is everyone in attendance here for this episode of SmackDown Live. Cross standing across from me. This is going to be a true battle, a true test of what these women are capable of what they can do to hang on in there, of what they can do to survive, to thrive, and ultimately to walk out with the SmackDown Women's Championship. Cross giving the title over to the referee. Will that be the last time here tonight that she gets her hands on it? And will it go back to the only female member of the Originals, to the 3-time Women's Champion in Becky Lynch? We are about to find out. This contest is about ready to go. And the referee is calling for the bell, and look at that, Lynch, oh my goodness, right out of the gates, exploding away on Nikki Cross, strike after strike, stomp after stomp. Cross not even given a moment to recover there. Lynch's hateful and vile desire for victory taking over right now, and she goes right after Nikki Cross as a result of it. Cross on the back foot before this match can even truthfully get underway. And that just goes to show how much these 2 women utterly hate one another. Exploder suplex from Becky Lynch there. And we have truly begun in this contest for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Duck under. Big lariat by Cross, though, sends Lynch off her feet. She seems to have bounced back right away the way that she wanted to. And here we go then between these two women now. Who can take control of the other? Who can make sure that the other one doesn't walk out with the victory? Who knows who the best? Big lariat from behind there by Nikki Cross. And down goes Lynch. Lynch rolling out of the way. Nice drop kick. Down goes Cross. Back and forth from the two women as this one is getting underway here. It feels like it is still early stages of this match, has to be said. Look at that. The arm is not meant to bend in that direction. Oh my goodness. And now Becky Lynch continuing to take control. Electric chair there and Cross goes down. In the turnbuckle we go. Hefty knee in the face right there. Cross is getting an elbow in her face for her trouble as well by Lynch, and an uppercut which will send her off the mat as well. Look at how Cross continues to fire away with these lariats in this match though. We haven't seen much in the way of true wrestling, but we have seen a lot in the way of just hitting one another with every strike they can find in the book. Stun gun there by Lynch now, and she may have retaken control in this match briefly. Has the leg trapped. Capture suplex, up and over goes Cross. And into the cover goes Lynch as a result of it. Here she goes. There's one and a kick out. Elbow right in the face by Lynch. To Lynch by Cross. But it's Lynch who is still able to maintain control in this matchup. Float over DDT. That's what I was looking for. And Lynch now after hitting big. And she continued to capitalize. Not going to happen. Good counter there by Cross and a big drop kick. Cross getting a little bit fired up there, and also a little bit of mockery towards Becky Lynch's well-known taunts. And look at this now. Cross rolling up Lynch to try and retain the title. Not going to happen. Kick out at one there from the challenger. Big elbow. Lynch from behind. No, wait, turning it back. Disarmer! Disarmer applied! Cross is in near the ropes. It's going to take an awful lot to get out of this one. Does Cross have it in her to hang on in there? It seems so. She slips out of the hold. And the match continues on as a result of it. Nikki Cross now slamming Lynch down on her own arm. And attacking it right after as well. Nikki Cross doing damage to the arm of Lynch there before bringing her in. Samoan driver from Nikki Cross. Into the cover after it. And oh, what a kick out there very early on for Becky Lynch. But it may be her last bit of movement in this match, because here comes Cross. Fisherman's neckbreaker. And has that become enough to retain the title? It hasn't. A kick out at 2. And Becky Lynch is still in this one, and she's right up to her feet as well. Can Lynch get herself back in this one for the originals? Nikki Cross with the dropkick, counter there by Lynch. Big lariat now by Becky Lynch, and here she goes, firing off on Nikki Cross. Dropkick and Cross goes down. And the originals would love to have that women's title back around their waist, controlling 3 of the 4 titles on Smackdown Live. Would be huge for them. Exploder suplex there by Lynch. Could we see another disarmer on her way? If we were, Cross did a great job of being able to counter it. Tornado DDT follows up after it as well. And that all of a sudden grounds grounds Becky Lynch's momentum, and more work done on the arm. Chin lock applied. As it locked in here, Lynch able to slip her way out of that one though. Good stuff there. Went for the kick in the gut, countered. Cross then just almost letting her go for another one in the eyes that she would counter it, and indeed she did. Snake eyes into the turnbuckle for Lynch. And sitting her down. Once again, Cross targets that arm. Working away on it, beating it down. There may have been a game plan in the match, but so too is victory, of course. Another Samoan driver. Another cover after it. And the title still isn't decided. Lynch kicks out. But for how much longer can she keep on fighting on? Is the original's hopes and dreams in jeopardy? Cross in position. Fisherman's neck breaker. And she got all of it. And with 1, 2, 3, the war has come to an end between these two. Nikki Cross leaves SmackDown Live, still the SmackDown Women's Champion. The end of it all, Becky Lynch didn't have enough, and Nikki Cross leaves with the belt held high and no belt back for the originals. An almighty contest, and one that she had to start pretty much from behind. Still proved enough though for Cross to fight back in and to walk out as the winner. Still the champion, Nikki Cross. And now the question is, who is next for this woman? Who else is there for Nikki Cross? We will find out. That much is for certain. Nevertheless, time to move on to our main event of the evening. A tournament match continuing on. And what a match it is as well in this tournament. A round of 16 match. One of this caliber. One of this stature. I cannot wait for it. Samoa Joe against Kazuchika Okada. It is huge. And it is up right now. Winner moves on to the quarterfinals to face the winner of Shinsuke Nakamura and Ricochet. And here we go between these two. What a fight it is going to be. Samoa Joe arrived to SmackDown Live and immediately went toe-to-toe with the Beast. Immediately gave it his all in order for victory. That was, of course, disturbed by the arrival of one Sting at that moment in time. Sting's not going to be here tonight. If Joe wants to win, he's going to have to do it himself. And he's going to have to knock off a guy desperate for a victory. A man without a win to his name in about 3 months. The Rainmaker heads towards the ring here for what he knows is going to be a tough contest against Samoa Joe. And what we all know is going to be a tough contest against Samoa Joe. The first time we've seen Okada since Fully Loaded. And the question has to be asked, where is Okada at after it? Where is he at physically, mentally? Where is he at in all of those regards following that event? It was a tough loss for Okada to endure. No doubt about it. It was something that I don't think Okada will have recovered from. That loss to Corin shook him. And now, despite that being the case, Okada does battle once more for another shot at the Beast. Awaits him at the very end of it as well. We'll see just what'll happen here. And of course, if Okada wins tonight and Nakamura wins next week, he gets his hands on Shinsuke Nakamura one more time. That old, bitter rival of his. If he can beat Samoa Joe in this main event, this is going to be a great one. No doubt about it. Here we go between these two guys. Joe versus Okada in the main event. Like I said, this is main event caliber of a pay-per-view. Put this on him for the WWE Championship. Doesn't matter who's holding the title, it is worthy of a main event. There's no doubt about it. Joe coming out of the gates there with a quick shot on Okada. Of course, we've seen the change in the Rainmaker's attire as of late. Look at the long pants of his now following Survivor Series, and the dyed red hair as well. It's almost like the Rainmaker's going through some sort of a crisis within him. Having lost to Nakamura at No Way Out, lost the opportunity to beat Rollins at Survivor Series through Corin, then losing the Corin at Fully Loaded. It has all slipped away from the Rainmaker. And losing that WWE Championship at SummerSlam was the real start for it all. You compare the first quarter of this year for Okada. It was amazing. Winning the Royal Rumble, winning the main event of WrestleMania. The second quarter, all the way up until SummerSlam. Being the WWE Champion was great. For SmackDown Live and for the Rainmaker as well. But this third quarter has been a disaster for Okada. Victories passing him by. Friends he thought he had turning their back on him. And no win to his name in this series of Universe yet. Survivor Series ended in a no contest. Fully loaded, he was beaten comfortably. I hate to say that, but it's the truth. He was beaten in a fairly comfortable manner by Corin. Now, he looks to try and bounce back with this match here against Samoa Joe. Great basement dropkick from Okada. You can see the Rainmaker's a little shaky in this one right now. He knows what he wants to do, but it's that idea of does he still have it in him to connect with it all. Arid crash neck breaker. Okada's still going right now. Joe on the back foot a little bit here. Great drop toe holds from the former WWE champion. Okada Lesnar 3 happened. What would the outcome be in that one? Think about it. The first one was a decisive win for Lesnar. Second one was going either way up until the arrival of Nakamura. The third one, I think honestly right now I'd say Lesnar. At this current state for Okada, it's Lesnar. After what Lesnar did to Shawn Michaels as well, it's Lesnar. And after what happened at Survivor Series, it is Lesnar in my mind. Fastlane was the last time we saw the Rainmaker at his absolute peak. Since then, he's been on a downslide. And I think a loss here tonight... I think Fully Loaded put him at his lowest point. I think Fully Loaded took everything out of the Rainmaker. And now he is at his absolute lowest. To the extent where he has got to try and find a way back to the very top. Back to what made him a star at WrestleMania. Back to what made him the ace of SmackDown Live. And that is so much easier said than done on this playing field with the amount of people who hate him as well. Up on that top rope goes Samoa Joe. Okada using it to his advantage. DDT! Great bit of work there from the Rainmaker. Lifting him up to his feet now, and Okada in. Big uppercut. Joe goes down once again. Okada's been hitting the good strikes in this one. Oh, wait a minute. This is more than a good strike. This is perhaps one of the best. Rainmaker! An almighty Rainmaker strikes. And Okada with 1, 2, no! He hasn't gone through yet. Samoa Joe still has plenty to say about that one. Good counter from Joe there, though. Is this where Samoa Joe gets his fight back on? We're about to find out. Almighty impact into that turnbuckle for Okada. Both men swinging at each other and both men missing. Front face lock. And Joe, oh my goodness, no remorse with those kicks in the face. Sending him into the turnbuckle, back elbow, and a corner enziguri as well. Samoa Joe now. That Rainmaker almost woke up Samoa Joe, because look at how he's just in control of the match right now. Dragon Sleeper applied, but a great fight out there by Okada, able to keep himself in this one. Kicking the gut as well to go with it. Counter from Joe. He's going to send him into another turnbuckle. And another corner. Enziguri on its way. You just can't block that as much as you would hope to. It's almost impossible. And Samoa Joe now with a trifecta of suplexes. The German, the Dragon, and the Straight Jacket all connect. Cover on Okada to knock him out of the tournament. Okada kicks out at 1. Great fight from Okada. And look at that. The Rainmaker right up to his feet. Right back into this. 2 clotheslines. Drop kick. Drop kick from Okada. And here he goes. The Rainmaker sensing victory. A trio of wristlock lariats. All to Samoa Joe to lead into one final. No. I thought it would have been the Rainmaker. Okada thinks it's enough. And it isn't. It just simply isn't. Okada gonna risk it all though. The Rainmaker gonna fly. Joe right up to his feet and Okada couldn't stop it. He just didn't have the speed in him. And this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt big time. From the top, double underhook, superplex. And Joe is going to look to finish the deal now. Okada dazed and could be done for. Kukina, clutch, locked in, nowhere near the ropes for the Rainmaker. Is he going to give up? Is Okada going to give up? Is Okada going to have to quit here and bow out of this tournament? Not if he can do anything about it. Okada escapes. What a contest this has been from both guys, giving it their all to hang on in this tournament. Drop kick from Okada. To the outside goes Samoa Joe now. These two guys are truly trying to take everything out of one another that they can, because they know they need to do that in order to secure the victory. In the corner. Oh, not again. The third time in this match that corner and Zaguri connects, and Joe believes it's the last. Cover on Okada, and the Rainmaker still kicking at it too. And now Samoa Joe has to be thinking. He has to be thinking his options are limited at this point for victory. Counter by Joe. Spinning back fist as well. Okada dazed. And now on the back foot. No, good counter by Okada, but couldn't capitalize. Snap suplex. Joe doesn't float over because Okada probably would have got the rope break. And Joe, though, going into an armbar. This takes away the Rainmaker as well. This takes away any hopes of something like that hitting if you take away the arm. Takes away the tombstone. Takes away the ability to control the wrist. But Okada able to get himself out of that hold. And an uppercut will send Joe back down. Okada going to go up high. Willing to risk it all. What will happen now with Joe? Drop kick from Okada. He lifts him up to his feet now. Does Okada have it in him to walk out with the win when it matters most? Tombstone! One more move. Rainmaker pose. And no! Joe denying the Rainmaker. A bloody face of Samoa Joe denying the Rainmaker to the best of his abilities. Okada can't put it away right now. Joe dumping him down off his side there. Okada seemed ready. And maybe just a second too long with that Rainmaker pose, and it cost him. Okada counters. Looked like he was seeking Rainmaker once more and gets countered. Joe going to put him back up on that top rope, it seems. Hoists him up there. It worked well the first time. Oh my goodness! And with a corner assisted in Zaguri, Okada hit hard on the outside. That was brutal, but somehow Okada's hanging in there. And every second he hangs in there, he hangs in this tournament as well. Does he have it in him to finally end this? No, wait, Okada thinks it needs a real ending. It needs to be put away in its finest form possible. Trio of wristlock lariats. And Okada ready. Rainmaker pose on its way. Joe slides out of the ring. No! Nakamura! No! Nakamura interferes. Kinshasa! You are kidding me! Nakamura interferes. Okada wins, but it's bittersweet. And Nakamura hits an old rival again.